We have new reporting on the so-called death spiral Metro says it's facing in its budget gap. WMATA'S top officials meeting with D.C. Mayor MURIEL and City Council members this morning to lay out some options for the future. WMATA is currently climbing a $750 million cliff. Melissa Kim joins us live outside of the Metro stop in Tenleytown. And Melissa, we know this could have a major impact on the users, the people who ride the rails. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Simone. You know, WMATA and city officials alike calling this a huge fiscal challenge for DC Metro because on top of that $750 million gap, WMATA officials estimate that those costs will just continue to grow. But for a possible solution, DC Mayor MURIEL suggesting that DC taxpayers potentially pitch in.
Just like you all, very hard to hire in this market, very hard to retain. So we have to be able to figure out how to pay people appropriately for the hard work they do. At the same time, look at our long-term forecast and growth.
Metro General Manager Randy Clark estimates that by the fiscal year 2025, the agency will be approximately $750 million in the red, 38% of which is due to what he says is decreased revenue since the pandemic, which is costing them $288 million. Ward 6 Councilman and Transportation Committee Chair Charles Allen says while he does understand challenges in the real world,
revenue raisers, I think that's just a function of reality that we're going to have to face. But however we solve that, I think it's got to be framed also as to that we are asking residents and businesses to be part of that solution. And it reflects that vision of the transit system that we've got to have for our city and its future.
Part of the solution could include cutting services, specifically bus services, is concerning.
It's DC lower income households and working families that would be the most impacted with that, because I think WMATA's even survey showed a quarter of all bus riders are making less than $10,000 per year. And DC residents obviously are very reliant on our bus service for getting workers to and from and around our city.
But General Manager Clark says it's not a decision WMATA takes lightly.
Those routes were what we would classify as the least productive. Now, that's not to say they're not valuable to people, but they are the least amount of people per hour, per dollar spent type of deal, generally speaking. And where there's maybe at least some parallel service if you walked a little further.
As to how to pay for it all, Mayor Bowser acknowledges taxpayers will have to contribute, but she wants Virginia and Maryland to pay their fair share.
Metro is the economic engine for our region, not just us. And we have to continue to work on the political solutions. These are political questions at the end of the day that will have all three jurisdictions come to the table for a long-term solution.
Now, the mayor says that these discussions between her office, council members, and WMATA will continue, but most importantly, she wants to make sure that all of these discussions are fair to both DC Metro workers and also the people who depend on the rail and Metro every single day. We're live in Northwest DC tonight. Melissa Kim, WUSA 9.
Yeah, by the way, I was just on Twitter, and the taxpayer option is not so popular, as you can imagine. Melissa, appreciate your reporting tonight. Thank you.